Thank you. I think we may be seated. I'm happy about the height. The person thought I was slightly taller. Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony, the Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution for Harare and Metropolitan Province, Mr. C. Chiringa. We welcome you. The former Mayor of Harare, His Worship, Engineer Elias Mudzuri, we welcome you. The Town Clerk of Harare, the senior government officials here present, mayors and chairpersons from other local authorities here present, former mayors of Harare here present. We had extended the invite to all the former mayors, including the resident minister. Unfortunately, he has had a bereavement and could not make it, but he is also a former mayor of Harare, Mayor Masunda and Mayor Manyenyeni. We had sent an invite. Aldermen here present, councillors here present, Town Clerk of the City of Harare, Engineer H. Chisango, Town Clerks from our sister local authorities, the Junior Mayor of the City of Harare, and Junior Councillors, Captains of Industry and Commerce, esteemed stakeholders, development partners, residents of Harare, employee representatives, and members of the media fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, I've prefixed our State of the City address with the statement, will anything good ever come out of Harare? I believe this is one of the questions that you have had as you contemplated attending this address, particularly now when there are various technical committees in place, a commission of inquiry, and other interventions by central government. In the biblical context, the question can be paraphrased thus: can any good thing come out of Nazareth? You replace with Harare. Refers to the skepticism surrounding the potential for greatness from a place like Nazareth. Nazareth was probably a shunned place, considered inferior to others. Despite its humble reputation, Jesus grew up in Nazareth. The question reflects the idea that greatness can emerge from unanticipated or undervalued origins. My answer to this question is yes, something good will come out of Harare, and I will explain why I have such optimism and conviction that if we have the correct ingredients, one day we'll celebrate the good things that will be radiating from the city of Harare. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel deeply honored to present the State of the City address, the first big interaction with the various stakeholders after the 2023 harmonized elections. The State of the City address is an important platform for interacting with stakeholders, residents, and sharing information on key developments in our city, including our shortcomings and proposed concrete steps to address the challenges. We have service delivery challenges. This is not because we lack the will to do so. There are challenges that we must collectively confront going forward under the theme accelerating quality service delivery for everyone. The major focus areas under this theme include fully implementing the call to action by government, improving water supply coverage, improving service delivery in the waste management sector, dealing with the illegal developments around the city and restoring order and sanity, improving public lighting for the safety of our residents, regaining the financial stability through good governance, recapitalization of service delivery operations, completion of the Harare Master Plan, installation of a functional ERP. Governance and administration. Ladies and gentlemen, on governance and administration, your council focus area for the first 5 months of the year was on council leadership, stakeholder engagement, operations of council business units, laws and regulations, financial management, and decentralization of service delivery. Council leadership. The city of Harare now has 45 wards and 59 councillors, 36 males and 23 females, who form the board responsible for policy formulation and implementation oversight. Of the female councillors, 1 is the deputy mayor and 3 are chairpersons of committees. We welcome this development as we now have more women in the local government leadership space, and this promotes robust debate on gender-responsive service delivery. On the administration front, the Department of Works has been abandoned into Engineering Service, Urban Planning Services Department, in line with the President's call to action, thus increasing the number of departments from 7 to 8, excluding the Office of the Town Clerk. Of the 8 departments, substantive directors main 4, whilst the remainder are mained on enacting appointments and recruitment processes for the 2 of the vacant positions have been initiated. We are engaging the relevant authorities so that we do the needful to get these positions filled before the end of the year. Council operations. The increasing demand for improved service delivery and formulation of responsive policies saw your council reconstitute its committees as follows: Audit Committee, Finance and Development Committee, Education, Health, Housing and Licensing Committee, Business Committee, Human Resources and General Purposes Committee, Works and Town Planning Committee, Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Committee, Small to Medium Enterprise Committee, Disaster Risk Management and Public Safety Committee, Information and Publicity Committee, 11 Sports Committee. The 3 additional committees were necessitated by the need to streamline functions and ensure focused attention on issues. The committee system continues to be the hub of council operations as all council decisions are made through the system. Laws, regulations, and enforcement. We continue to strengthen our legislative framework through the formulation of new bylaws and review of existing ones. We managed to amend the following bylaws, which are now awaiting gazetting by the Attorney General's Office: Harare Fire Amendment Bylaw, Harare Traffic Amendment Bylaw, Prepaid Parking Disc Amendment Bylaw, Harare Cemeteries Amendment Bylaw, Harare Food Hygiene Amendment Bylaw, Harare Vendors Amendment Bylaw. It is our hope that these will be gazetted as soon as possible so that we strengthen our enforcement efforts, thus bringing back order in the city. The rise of undesignated selling points, the rise of selling everywhere, even in suburbs, must be regulated to ensure that the business is conducted in an orderly and in a manner that is safe for the environment. ERP and master plan. We recognize that without a robust ERP, it is difficult to conduct business. Management is currently seized with ensuring that we have a fully integrated ERP that is commensurate with the scale of the city transaction. In response to the call to action, the city prioritized the development of the master plan. Despite the encumbrance of the procurement bureaucracy, we are working flat out to ensure we meet the deadline as set by government. Management is aware of our expectations and those of the government. The government has reiterated that this deadline of 30 June around master plan will not be extended. And we are also reiterating the same as a council and as councillors, that the issue of the master plan is non-negotiable and must be completed as soon as possible, or at the very least by the deadline set by government. Decentralization of service delivery. The city has grown and cannot be administered effectively from the center. We have begun implementation of the decentralization program. 5 regional managers have since been deployed to the region to coordinate all centralized operations. The next step is the capitalization of these regions so that they are able to provide local solutions to local service delivery. We want to ensure that all regions are fully capacitated and the center will only be responsible for strategic and policy planning while the implementation resides in our decentralized structures. We plead with all our stakeholders to support this noble strategy, which is in line with devolution. Strategic business units. City of Harare business portfolio includes joint ventures, wholly owned entities. Council has been monitoring the performance of its business interests through various corporate governance provisions. To date, all non-performing joint ventures have been terminated, and wholly owned entities are being remodeled to ensure optimum value creation. City Parking Private Limited is one of our performing entities and has contributed to the procurement of plant, equipment, and refurbishment of Rufaro Stadium. Rufaro Marketing is being remodeled so that we derive maximum benefits from our properties. Harare Quarry Private Limited has not been performing as expected, and such we have appointed an audit firm to undertake an assessment of the company and a resource valuation to enable informed decision making. The assessment by the audit firm revealed that Harare Quarry is a good economic opportunity given its resource base, quantitative and qualitative aspects, and location. With a proper alignment program and financing, Harare Quarry can be viable and be able to produce the required raw materials for the roads program. A liquidity injection of at least $3.7 million is required for retooling and working capital to improve its operations. We are still assessing the report and we shall share the way forward with our stakeholders. Investment in the city. Ladies and gentlemen, the city's economy is growing in leaps and bounds, as demonstrated by the level of activities, particularly in the construction sector. A number of service stations, one would argue one too many, have been opened in Harare. The level of beautification of our service station is amazing, and we call upon all business in Harare to follow the same example. If all our business operators beautify their frontages and pavements, Harare will transform into a green and beautiful city. We will be insisting, in fact, that this beautification of the pavements and the frontages be done by force of law if it comes to that. Africa Unity Square, water fountains were brought to life courtesy of the Hyatt Regency, a hotel group operating in Harare. There is also a massive investment in the fast food outlet sector. We are moving away from the tradition of having fast food outlets in the affluent areas only, but moving to all other areas in Harare. KFC recently opened in Kowadzana and another one in Borodo. The city of Harare is also participating fully in the industrialization agenda and processing permits for the opening of big industry. Recently, one of the largest milling companies in the country, Champions Foods, was opened in Tinwald in Harare. It has the capacity to produce 500 metric tons of maize meal per day. In terms of shopping malls, we are happy to report that we have big shopping malls in Highlands and Madekore that are operational. We expect more as we continue to receive applications for the development of business centers. This is good for the local and national economy. City of Harare Financial Management. My council approved the 2024 budget early last year in terms of ministerial guidelines and compliance with Section 288, subsection 1, and forwarded the same to the Minister of Local Government and Public Works in terms of Section 288, subsection 2B. Unfortunately, the Minister of Local Government and Public Works did not approve the budget because of audited financial statements, backlog, and failure to implement ERP systems, amongst other issues. We had a meeting with the minister and the issues are being addressed. The city has made progress in audited accounts with the draft accounts up to the year 2022 submitted to auditors. Work is in progress to ensure full compliance by the end of 2024. We hope that we will have an approved budget as soon as practicable. Financial outlook for the city. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to give an overview of the financial performance of the first quarter of the year based on the monetary policy statement by the Reserve Bank Governor on the 5th of April 2024. Total inflows for the period of 1 January to 31 March 2024 amounted to ZiG 211.65 million. For the month of April, the city collected 109,403 million against a target of 483.6474 million ZiG. The huge billing potential is because of implementation of the new general valuation rule. The city remains hamstrung in cash flows as most consumers are not paying. We are owed in excess of 940 million. Residents, industry and commerce are the major debtors, government included. We continue to deploy measures to enforce payment. Our collection efficiency remains less than 50% of our potential. Ladies and gentlemen, we are appealing to all our debtors to honor their obligations so that we can continue to pay for water chemicals, procure plant and equipment, pay all our creditors and service providers timelessly. In order to enforce payment, we have been issuing final demands, summons, and we will in the third quarter commence replacement of old water meters to ensure billing efficiency. We are engaging financing partners for this project, which we are confident will help in addressing the billing challenges in our system. Should all else fail, we are also in negotiations with ZESA, Ministry of Finance, and our parent ministry that, like in the old days, the rates bill and the energy bill be put together. Technology has now developed to the extent that we can have the energy bill and the rates bill together, and we share the proceeds with ZESA. The problems began when in 1984 or 1983, thereabout, this link with the billing was separated and it went to ZESA, and therefore the stigma of not paying rates normally seen by lights being turned off was removed. We are working feverishly to do that. On service delivery, the focus areas for the period January to May 2024 was on water provision, waste management, health service delivery, road maintenance, social service delivery, housing delivery, public safety and security, and council infrastructure development. Potable water and wastewater provision. Water supply coverage. Water supply remains one of the key pain points for the residents of Harare and its dormitory towns. Harare and its dormitory towns' water demand is around 800 megaliters per day against an average current production of 300 megaliters per day, owing to the various works that are being carried out at our water treatment plant works. Water supply coverage is averaging 49%, and in terms of quality, we are meeting the World Health Organization standards. We will continue to take up measures to increase water production and reach our target of producing 520 megaliters per day by 31st December 2024. Kunji Dam, we are advised, is on course, and we are hopeful that this will help improve our water capacity to provide water services to the residents. We also appeal to investors and financial institutions to invest in the Mchekeranwa Canal and other water treatment plants that we can even place on Manyame Dam so that we can increase the water that we deliver daily to the residents. Wastewater management. We continue to implement rehabilitation and maintenance programs in the wastewater sector, such as upgrading of the infrastructure using initially internally generated resources. I'm happy to report that a portion of the Kuadzana trunk sewer was repaired, hence the smooth flow of the sewage in the Kuadzana 7 sewer reticulation system. Works continue both upstream and downstream of the repaired portion until Zvarasekwa, Tinwold, Bluefield, Marlborough systems are fully functional. Solid waste management. Waste management in the city remained a major challenge. Our collection efficiency is being hampered by shortage of plant and equipment as we are operating an average of 15 compactors against an ideal of 45 compactors. Working closely with the central government and its agencies, riding on the emergency solid waste management program, guided by statutory instrument 140 of 2023, we implemented Operation Chenesa Harare. The aim of the operation was to clear all illegal dumps. The joint operation managed to clear a total of 417 illegal dumps across the 5 regions and disposed a cumulative tonnage of 22,000.48 tons at the Pomona disposal site. The achievement was, however, not sustained after the closure of the operation due to the lack of adequate plant and equipment. Your city, through government-initiated arrangement with Belarus, managed to acquire a total of 52 tractors. It is the Chinese who said it does not matter the color of the cat as long as it catches mice, isn't it? So as long as the tractors move as they surely do, we will utilize them. Allow me to take this opportunity to express our gratitude, our sincere gratitude to the Minister of Lands, Agriculture and Rural Resettlement, Dr. A. Masuka, for facilitating the acquisition of the 52 tractors, which are in our custody, and we are getting trailers and other equipment to make sure that we utilize them, and at least that there should be a tractor per ward. Our focus area for the rest of the year are summarized as follows: procurement of trailers for our tractors so that we improve on waste collection efficiency and coverage. Each region will be given its dedicated tractors and some compactors. Fully implement the integrated solid waste management plan. I call upon all residents to adopt and develop a culture of managing waste starting at household level. Residents are called upon to embrace monthly cleanup campaigns. Construction of public toilets in the CBD and operate them as subsidized pay toilets. This is the broad strategy to address shortage of public toilets in the CBD. We must not have a situation where residents have to queue waiting to get into the toilet. The issue of a toilet, sometimes when you have to go, you have to go. Now to find a queue there is dramatic. Health service provision. The city runs 42 health facilities operating at different levels as follows: 12 polyclinics, 17 satellite clinics, 2 infectious diseases hospitals, 4 dental clinics, 5 primary care clinics, 6 family health clinics. Institutional deliveries. Institutional deliveries registered an increase in the period under review. A total of 8,050 births have so far been recorded in our facilities, which is a positive development, as expecting mothers are delivering their babies under the careful attendance of trained personnel. And it also means the city is growing. People are making babies. I'm happy to report that we have resumed cesarean section operations at our enhanced polyclinic in Maputo. To date, we have carried out a total of 100 successful operations since the opening of the enhanced polyclinic. We will continue investing in maternal health system through the development of the requisite infrastructure. Cholera. We have had cholera outbreaks in Harare due to our challenges in the water and sanitation sector. The following are the key statistics. Suspected cases, 9,193. Confirmed cases, 863. Deaths, 65. Case fatality ratio, 0.71%. The outbreak epicurve is subsiding, with isolated cases being recorded in various suburbs. The response teams are on the ground carrying out thorough investigation for management of the outbreak. We are hoping that by addressing the water and sanitation issues, we will remove the threat of cholera outbreaks. Emergency services. We have continued to respond to emergencies in and outside Harare. Our city emergency services is one of the most critical areas which needs recapitalization, as there are only 6 fire engines against an ideal of 25. 4 ambulances against 32 needed. These shortfalls have resulted in council sometimes taking time to respond to emergency calls. The 4 fire stations we have are not adequate, and the city has plans to build more fire stations, with groundbreaking already done at Marlborough, where we want to construct a fire station and a maternity clinic. To date, we have received 787 fire calls, which were attended to in Harare and a number outside Harare. 16,208 ambulance calls were made and 14,028 were conveyed, leaving 2,180 not conveyed. These variances are attributable to resource constraints, as I alluded to earlier. We have procured 3 ambulances which are expected to be delivered during this quarter. I would also like to appreciate the emergency help group. I believe these are angels, which is a cluster of proactive citizens in Harare who help us respond to various emergencies. They coordinate all the components of emergency response, and I would like to appreciate them publicly. We will honor them for their selfless efforts by giving them awards from the city. They provide water on water tankers. The last fire at Joina City, they provided 300 liters of water. Join me in thanking these angels in Harare. We will make sure that we complement their works with all the support that they need. Are they here? We had invited. Huh? Yes, may you stand up? I know the writers of the... Please come forward. Come forward. I know the writers of the speech had asked me to read continuously. But we are deeply indebted. Welcome. Well, let me just face the residents. This group has over close to 1,000 in its WhatsApp group, and they coordinate water. They make sure that there is water. They coordinate ambulances. They coordinate emergency responses, and we have not paid them a dime. They have ensured that there is water following our Bowsers at the Paramount Fire, Joina Fire, and one of the service stations in Pomona that had caught fire. And they do this out of their own volition. And they've also contributed ambulances and responses at every accident scene that happens in Harare. And they came out of the blue into my office, and I believe that these are angels. And as I said earlier, can anything good come out of Harare? If something good has come out of Harare. Thank you very much. May you sit. The city has a total road network, road rehabilitation and maintenance. The city has a total road network of plus 4,500 kilometers. As I reported in December, we are operating in a firefighting mode on road program, as the current budget for roads is not adequate to meet our routine and programmed road maintenance targets of 400 kilometers annually. We are working closely with the Department of Roads in the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure and Development and our road fund administrator, Zinara, in managing our city road network and infrastructure. In 2023 alone, we received a total of 13.6 billion from Zinara, and all the money was utilized for roads program. The 2024 road budget of 34.3 billion is only US dollar equivalent of 3.4 million, as at January 2024 was promised by Zinara. During budget pronunciation, this amount was equivalent to 5 million US dollars, but has significantly lost its value due to inflation. Zinara on the 19th of March 2024 gave us advance payment of 8.5 billion Zimbabwe dollars. We have since used the money for the roads program, and we are hoping to receive additional disbursement soon. On a very positive note, the city is working with the central government in rehabilitating and maintaining major roads and roads infrastructure in preparation of the August SADC Summit. As a hosting city, we are proactively up to the task, and we will work closely with central government so that all the targeted 187 kilometers of selected city roads will be rehabilitated. These are the major roads and roads infrastructure leading to and from the CBD and selected routes which will be used by our delegates. The roads program requires a huge capital investment, and because of that, the city of Harare is considering implementing a broad strategy of introducing a road development levy or to introduce selected tolling on other roads that can be profitable to address the current challenges being experienced by our motorists and all road users. Going forward, our focus is on the following: maintenance of major roads in residential areas, traffic signal functionality, 100% functionality in CBD so that we reduce congestion. We will continue to deploy our traffic officers and ZRP officers to control traffic movement in the CBD and major intersections across the city. We will continue to pursue our road widening and traffic cycles upgrading agenda so that we improve trafficability. We will also look into the issue of a congestion penalty. Other cities across the world have congestion penalties so that we don't have someone coming into the city center to buy a banana. City planning, land management, and housing delivery. Before I go there, the issue of Zinara, I say this, we need an urgent reform on the disbursement of amount. And remember, we used to collect the road user fee ourselves as a city, and that allowed us to function. This disbursement of $2 million per year, which have been receiving from Zinara, against a backdrop of 800,000 cars in the city, each giving out $64 million, and the motorists of Harare get $2 million for road maintenance is unsustainable. And this issue needs to be looked at urgently before our road network continues to disappear completely. City planning, land management, housing and delivery. Land development planning, a number of development permits were approved during the first quarter of the year. A cumulative total of 26 private subdivision permits were issued. 34 cluster housing development permits were issued, and these have a total yield of 211 units, and 37 straight permits, forward planning and special consent were issued. A total of 3 permits for plots were issued with a total yield of 13 units. Council is promoting densification and cluster home development as a broad strategy to address housing shortages in Harare. Industrial and commercial investment promotion. The demand for commercial and industrial space continue to grow. We are happy to report that business development in Harare has been on a rise. As at May 2024, a total of 1,721 building permits were received, of which 85 were commercial building plans, 49 industrial plans, 77 cluster flats plans, and 12 school plans. Housing delivery. The housing waiting list for Harare as at 24 May of 2024 was around 285,000. We have a target of allocating at least 7,000 service residential stands and add an additional of over 30,000 housing units to our housing stock. These housing units are from various private development partners we have issued with development permits and from regularized settlements that meet the planning standards where properties were not on our database. And we emphasize that they have to meet the planning standards. Regularization of housing units and other properties. We have established the Regularization Task Force and Steering Committee to oversee the regularization of all settlements that meet towning plan standards. And we emphasize we are not going to regularize willy-nilly and on plans that have been built on schools, clinics, and other planning priorities. The checklist which we are religiously following, and as of 24 May of 2024, we had managed to regularize a total of 11,604 properties. My council, however, is not going to regularize illegal land evasions by land barons working as shadow pay schemes or cooperative. The city is monitoring reported land evasions in Borodale, Greendale, Mount Pleasant, Marlborough, Marlborough, and Hartfield. You cannot invade a low-density suburb and expect us to regularize that. It is not going to happen. You can't go to Mount Pleasant and pitch a tent or a cabin or any of the areas that I've mentioned and then expect that we are going to follow up regularization. Anyone who has made an application to regularize in these areas must withdraw that application, as it will not succeed. And other high-density areas as well, as invasion of school sites, recreational centers, and environmental sensitive areas. That is our wetlands. We must have a zero tolerance to invasion of wetlands. No matter how beautiful a house you build or a construction you put, at some point we are going to bring it down. If it is in a wetland, if it is on a clinic, is at a school. We are also going to speak to the Attorney General to introduce new crimes, to talk about space barons, land barons, and recently grave barons. They are following the dead, these barons. All the invaders are directed to remove their illegal structures, as council, working together with government, will soon embark on an exercise to demolish all these illegal structures as we work to bring order and sanity in the housing delivery system. New housing delivery model, allocation of unserviced land and regularization of the same is not a housing delivery model that we are proud of. We have adopted a new model of delivering housing to our people. We passed a resolution to procure yellow machines for land development using the estates fund. We are planning to buy road equipment, water, sewer pipes for housing development. Going forward, council is inviting reputable land developers and financial institutions with capacity to service land so that we sell land that is ready for people to build their properties. We are already in discussions with reputable financial institutions for such projects. Those financial institutions who are not in discussion, please come quickly to our offices. Title deeds. We are encouraging property owners to engage council for title deeds application. We have noted with great concern that 90% of houses in high density areas have not been issued with title deeds. We are going to undertake massive campaigns, educate our people on the importance of acquiring title deeds for their properties. We encourage our residents to visit the district offices for assistance. Council has begun a program to survey all the properties in Harare so are eligible to apply for title deeds. Education and social service provision. Council has a total of 35 primary schools with a total enrollment of 71,107 learners. A total of 8,894 learners set for the grade 7 ZIMSEC public exams. The average percentage pass rate by subjects stood at 78%, which was an increase from the 74% reported in 2024. Glenview 9 Council Primary School has been the leading school over the past 5 years. It had an average percentage pass rate of 97.5%, and it became the second best school in the Harare Metropolitan Province. The southern incorporated areas, popularly known as Harare South, are in dire need of primary schools. And as council, we are making an undertaking to construct schools in that area so that our learners do not have to travel long distances to have access to education. Ladies and gentlemen, most of our schools are over-enrolled because of shortage of adequate schools as well as infrastructure which was not meant to accommodate high number of learners. We have since taken up the following measures to address over-enrollment. We have introduced the pairing model initiative where we are currently pairing our early childhood development centers to our existing schools. For example, Zwaraseka Full Day Center was paired with Fundo Council Primary School. We have engaged parents through SDCs to charge levy for school development. We want to build upwards so that we increase our school enrollment ratios. We urge all parents to support this initiative, which will result in improved enrollment and guarantee every child a place for education. We have adopted a partnership model for private schools that adhere to our terms and conditions to construct operationalize affordable private school as well as to work with the council in constructing council primary schools. As I have said before, all land barons occupying council stands as well as creche stands are instructed to leave, as council will be moving in to secure all the mapped school sites. We are also going to look at introducing a feeding scheme for our learners. We are meant to understand that some learners are collapsing at school because of the hunger, urban poverty, and the depressed agricultural season that we've just encountered. Council libraries and vocational training center. We are currently modernizing and installing Wi-Fi at all our 15 libraries dotted around the city. ICT infrastructure has been put in on 13 of the 15 libraries. Our ICT team is now working with the service provider to generate tokens to be used for accessing Wi-Fi and internet. Efforts are underway to upgrade and refurbish Mbare Vocational Training Center. Social services. I acknowledge that our social service center and social amenities are in a bad state. We strive to facelift these centers so that they serve the purposes that they were established for. Our programmed maintenance of halls, swimming pools, recreational facilities and play center. My council will continue to work closely with local leadership, wellness champions, non-governmental organizations and central government in addressing drug abuse challenges that are affecting our youths. We are going to build or turn one of our vocational centers into a rehabilitation center. A lot of the parents are unable to afford the $450 fee being charged at Ngoma Huru and the other related rehabilitation centers. And due to the increased demands, we are going to have to convert some of our vocational trainers into training centers, into rehabilitation centers. Small to medium enterprise markets. The city of Harare is alert to the fact that the economy is highly informal. My council has since operationalized the SME policy, which we developed with assistance of key stakeholders. Beginning this year, we developed our SME strategy and is being finalized. The focus is on infrastructure development, enforcement and investment promotion in the SME sector. We want to transform our SMEs markets into small and viable industrial hubs. We will continue to engage all our stakeholders in this endeavor. My council is to tap into and regulate the new SME business model, night business trading. Council projects. One of our signature projects, Rufaro Stadium Phase 1, was successfully completed. To date, a number of matches have been hosted at the home of football. We hosted a high-level delegation led by the Vice President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable KCD Mohadi, on the 9th of May 2024, and he expressed satisfaction at the progress we've made in terms of the renovation works. We took that opportunity to request for government support in securing funding for the following areas: 23,000 bucket seats, electronic advertising boards, electronic scoreboards, floodlights, closed-circuit television system, public announcement PA system. We hope that the financial assistance will be granted, as it will help Zimbabwe as a country and the city of Harare in general to host regional and international football matches, of which Zimbabwe has been sidelined for the past years due to inability to host. We are now looking forward to renovate Gwanzura Stadium. The focus is to have at least 2 stadia operational so that local matches can be played in Harare. Other construction projects we are going to commission, in light of that, we are also going to look to partners to develop Mabuku Ground 1 and also Zvarasekwa grounds, so that we can adequately cover the ambitions of Zimbabwean youths to play soccer at a professional level. Other construction projects are going to commission this year: Ashitubu Clinic and Seke Deb People's Market. These are the 2 critical projects we have committed resources to finish and operationalize. The recapitalization of City of Harare operations. I've prefixed this address with, will anything good come out of Harare? I promise to explain why I believe that with the ability to transform the capital city of the Republic of Harare, if we collaborate and not compete, particularly with central government. I believe it's time we adopt the concept of institutional complementarity. I think this word was meant to trip me in terms of pronunciation. I think I got it right. It is the idea that the coexistence of 2 or more institutions improves the functioning of each. It speaks to the need to complement each other and not compete. If government plays its part and council sticks to its core mandate, we can achieve more and transform the lives of the residents of Harare. During the period, it is also key to note that ever since time immemorial, the kettle and the pot have always competed to ask who is blacker than the other. They are all sitting on top of the same fire, but they find words to describe the blackness of the other one. We want to avoid having polemics with central government, MPs, and others who are tempted to rush to their students' companions to find words to describe the badness of others. If you are boiling water and you are a pot and you are a kettle, sometimes it is important to resist the temptation of calling the other black. During the period under review, we have been focusing on the recapitalization of service delivery operations, with special attention being paid to our major pain point, waste management. In this regard, something good is beginning to come out of Harare. To date, we have taken delivery of the following pieces of plant and equipment: 5 by 20 cubic meter refuse compactors, 3 by 20 ton hook loaders, bins for high traffic areas, 52 tractors and trailers. We hope this will enhance collection efficiency. These will be commissioned today. I believe that recapitalization of service delivery operations will improve confidence of our ratepayers and stakeholders. Moving forward, we intend to procure the following: 15 refuse compactors, 7 tipper trucks. In addition to the recapitalization drive, we will construct additional supporting infrastructure, that is 6 centers, 6 transfer stations, to augment the collection of recycled goods and improve refuse collection efficiency. We are converging here at the home of football, which we have opened and presented to the Zimbabwean football family. It's a good thing that has come out of Harare during our time. Harare has not been hosting any football matches because of the non-availability of facilities that meet the standard. But this council has brought football back to Harare. More good things are in the pipeline. In conclusion, we continue focus on improving service delivery in the following areas: water supply, waste management, road rehabilitation, health delivery, housing development, social services. To be able to deliver the above following will be prioritized: good financial management. We will have an ERP, the contract is being signed soon, and we will be up to date with our audits. We will ensure that we will not suffer. We need to explore public-private partnerships in major issues like water, issues like roads, issues like building, issues like waste management. We need to engage and work with our private sector in a more meaningful way. Robust and reliable financial billing system, that is a ERP, improved coordination, and have a systems-driven organization. The above are components for a well-organized city that can deliver seamless services to its customers. To all our stakeholders, we appreciate your criticism and support. To the executive, we know that you occupy hotspots, but let us forge ahead and deliver to the expectation of our stakeholders. Harare is very strategic in nature, and the political interests are wide and diverse. It is a huge privilege and honor to serve on this council. To the councillors, thank you. We don't always agree, but I believe there is progress in diversity. To the government of the Republic of Zimbabwe, let us adopt the concept of complementarity. John 1, verse 46. Nazareth, can anything good come from there? Come and see, said Philip. Adopted as Harare, can anything good come from there? Stakeholders asked. Come and see, said Jacob. Today, in delivering this State of the City address, we believe that something good will come out of Harare. I thank you.